Business Success, where our mission is to help military veterans start and grow profitable businesses so they can win the war at home. Obviously, getting out of the military is a war in itself, and that's our mission here, this piece to play in their lives so that they don't have to struggle with a lot of issues that might come up if they don't have a business that's thriving, whether they build it while they're still on active duty or they get out and then they can start and grow their business. So I'm here today with my friend Laura, and I'm going to tell you, she's going to tell you a little bit about what she does, but she is a military spouse, married to an active duty soldier, and she's also a business owner. Thanks for being on with us today.
Yeah, it's so exciting to be here. Like I said, my name is Laura. I co-own a business called Wise Advise and Assist Team. We help military spouses and veteran spouses work in the outsourcing field. We hire them in and connect them with clients so that they can continue to work no matter where Uncle Sam takes them. So it's really exciting to be a part of. We love being able to work with both military spouses, veteran spouses, and other organizations and collaborate because there's such a need for collaboration and just assistance and awareness in the community.
I like what you said about what you do because it's online or it's social. They can do this while on active duty. That wasn't always possible, with the schedules and deployments and everything else. But if you have an internet connection, nowadays you can be up in business.
Yeah, you can work. One of the hardest things I think in active duty, whether you're a spouse or a soldier looking to transition into a career, is having a flexible enough career. And not just flexible in the fact that it goes with you where you move, but we all know when you're in the active duty lifestyle, they could leave tomorrow, they could be in the field for 2 days, you could be in meetings all day, you could be left with the kids on your own. You never know what's going to happen, so you have to have a job that's both flexible in location but flexible in hours as well.
Yeah, so now you're here not just really on behalf of your business, which is awesome. And what was the website again?
It's wiseadviseteam.com.
Okay, Wise Advise. And but you're on here on behalf of the Mill Blogging event coming up here in Dallas. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm so excited to be partnering with our pal Cortez Riggs. He is from Mill Blogging, and he's hosting the Mill Blogging Influencer Conference in Dallas at the Sheraton, downtown Dallas, on October 23rd and 24th. And it's a conference for the military, by the military community, for veterans and active duty military and spouses as well, for digital entrepreneurs to really learn tips and tricks of the trade and how to grow and monetize their business. There's a lot of conferences out there for digital entrepreneurs, but none specifically for the military community and the veteran community, because there's very unique challenges that we face as entrepreneurs in both sides of active duty and veterans. So we're excited to be putting this Mill Blogging event on to really hone in on that audience and bring in veteran business owners and active duty spouse business owners who can really speak to this community about the struggles and how to grow your business, how to grow your platform online, how to deal with your back end in your office, and how do you work all those types of systems. What systems do you even use? How do you even begin to start? How do you make money, and how do you use your platform to make a difference?
So it sounds like this event is going to be sort of a one-stop shop from getting set up to promoting on social media. What do you need? Because as we know, the military doesn't teach you to be an entrepreneur.
No.
There are a lot of qualities that you take away and use that are beneficial being an entrepreneur. But as far as being a business owner and how everything works, it just doesn't do the trick. And again, you obviously experienced that too, because you're moving around constantly. Just like a lot of other military veterans or active duty, as well as spouses. And do you think it's beneficial that we have such mobile technology now, being in that transition period, getting out? Is that more beneficial to business?
Yeah, I think it's amazing because there's so many things, we talked about it earlier, so many transitional things happen at once when you're making that major transition from active duty to veteran. Not only is it just an emotional shift and a family shift, a lifestyle shift, a lot of people are moving location, they're searching for a new job, they're finding a new rhythm at home with both parents being home more often. So this digital age that we live in allows you to start and create, run, and grow a business from wherever you are. And if that means, you're on vacation with your family, you can still work on your business. If you are, in the middle of moving back from whatever base you're at to your new home location, you can still start and grow a business. And it allows you not only to monitor your business and still provide whatever service or product you're providing from wherever you are, but it allows you to connect. The veteran entrepreneurial community, same with the military spouse entrepreneur community are so open to collaboration and helping
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
We all know the struggle, right?
Yeah.
Whatever side of the house you're on, coming from a military background and that lifestyle, it is such a change to go into the business world and the civilian world. That there's so many incredible people, and we have some of those speakers lined up for the Mill Blogging event who can really attest to
Okay.
the things they had to learn in
Okay.
coming into this entrepreneurial
So the people
space.
you have speaking at this event, these are military veterans who have actually built businesses after getting out.
Yeah.
So it's not like here's the good idea.
Yeah.
The good idea fairy dropped by and he said this might be good. It's like no, these are men and women who have gotten out and are actually doing it.
Yeah, these are people who
Okay.
who are doing it, who have done it, who are successful at it, and who have practical applications for you. I mean, I don't know about you. I hate going to a conference and hearing all these wonderful theories. That's awesome, but it doesn't apply to me in my life. I can't, especially in the active duty military spouse, I can't plant my roots in one place and expect that network to serve me for the rest of my career. I have to grow this online community. So we do. We have some incredible people. Eli Crane from Bottle Breacher, an incredible veteran entrepreneur, is coming. Cayman Cruz from Our Riveter. She's actually an active duty spouse, but she's going to be there as well, talking about their experience in growing their business. And then many other well-known organizations and people within both the veteran and active duty entrepreneurial community will be there to talk about, what it's really like. And I think,
well, because you get on social
Yeah.
media and hey, I've been in business for 8 months and here's my
Making
Lamborghini,
millions, yeah.
making millions in this house I rented for a day to show you this video and all that
Absolutely.
BS. It's like that is not like.
well,
There's some lucky
understanding.
breaks, but
Yeah.
you're not going to be one of them.
We
Yeah.
talk about so much how great of an opportunity it is to be an entrepreneur as a veteran or as an active duty spouse, but we don't often talk about the reality of it
Yeah.
and like the timeline of it. And you can't start a business on January 1 and expect to be driving a Lamborghini by January 30th. Like
Yeah.
that's not how it works. And how do you strategically build your business, both with with partnerships, but also, what markets do you go in and how do you do that? There's not really a whole lot of people out there who want to give away trade secrets, and that's something I wish.
Yeah.
A
Well,
lot
every
of
trade
the-
has secrets, and they don't want to give them away.
But
Yeah.
the veteran entrepreneurial community and same with spouses, they're so generous with
Yeah.
information and collaboration. Like even just working with Cortez with the Mill Blogging, it would have been so easy for him to say, "Oh no, you have your business and I have mine. We don't need to work together." But
that's where that
Yeah.
that team mentality comes in, because you'd be amazed, and I'm guilty of this
Yeah.
too. In the military, in your squad, you've got your rifleman, you got your guy with the grenade launcher, you got your machine gunner, and you've got your sniper. If you got a machine gun, you're not responsible for killing somebody a mile away. That's the sniper's job, and you've got to know your role, where you fit, and then let someone else come in. And that's a hard thing to do, to let go of the reins there, and that can be something that can really hold someone back.
Yeah,
And so-
absolutely.
And so, it's really, letting people come in, because people who have that mentality about, well, it's competing, I don't want to do this, it's like, that's so small, they're not going
It's
to
so
go anywhere.
small-minded, yeah.
Because we all go further when we're together. Like, together is better.
Absolutely.
And it's funny, you can even talk to a person who you're competing with, and you might have a need or they have a need, and you give them a referral, and it ends up working out in the long run. People think too short term. You got to
Yeah.
think the long game, because that's what business is. It's a marathon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about why you started your business, the Wise Advise? Was that information you already had, and you're just thinking to yourself, wow, I could do this? Because nowadays, if you have an internet
Yeah.
connection, you can have a business. Like
It's
legit.
true.
Take
Yeah,
a
you
picture,
can have
put
a
it online,
website,
sell
yep.
it. The guy I had in here yesterday, he makes leather wallets by hand, and he made one, put it on Instagram, and one of his friends, who has like hundreds of thousands of following, shared it and said, hey, this is cool, check out at the Proper Gentleman, that's his handle. He woke up the next day with $1,200 in orders. He'd only made one,
Yeah.
but now he's got all these orders.
Yeah.
So he was just
Yeah.
having fun on Instagram.
Inventory issues.
So yeah, exactly. And that
Yeah.
was his biggest thing, was scaling it, because they're not made in China, mass produced. These are handmade.
Handmade, yeah.
So the guy's an artist. And so with yours, was it kind of like that, where you said, hey, I've got this skill set, let me see what I can start online and use that to my advantage? Or how did yours begin?
Yeah, I think it was a much slower process for me. I worked in international nonprofit before I married my husband, and
Okay.
I loved it. I had a really big career over there, and then married my wonderful husband and moved to
What's his name?
His name's Greg.
Greg, okay.
And moved to North Carolina and thought, I'll just continue my career. It'll be so easy. And it was not. I couldn't find a job. Nonprofit's one of those things where you really have to know people, have connections.
Yes.
So I just jumped around from job to job to job as we moved, and then I found freelancing. And freelancing was really appealing to me because it was something that I could do from anywhere. I could still work with clients. I was doing more business now than nonprofit. And then we got stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, and I met my business partner, Diana. And I really had never thought about starting my own company. I was doing freelancing on my own, which is similar. But we got together and started talking about, she was doing freelance work as well, and the skill sets that we both had to offer individually. And we thought, how cool would it be if we came together? We could offer so many more services to clients. And then as we began to talk, we always say it started with 2 meal spos and a dream, because we sat there and thought, how great would this opportunity be for so many of our fellow military spouses and veteran spouses who can't have a job in their field because they're constantly moving.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really have anything beyond like brick and mortar retail or something that, you can't have any longevity.
Right.
Now, you told me something before the interview. You said, my business partner and I, you said, we are so opposite. Our skill sets are so different. But that actually probably, I would imagine, works to your benefit.
Yeah, it's a perfect
can you
marriage
tell us how
for
it,
business.
because a lot of people think, well, it's the same thing in marriage.
Yeah.
If she was just more like me, no, if I was married to someone like me, it'd be a nuclear war.
Yeah.
When things are different, they're a little bit offset. So it's like the gears; they tend to go together rather than just grinding against each other. Have you found that to be the case?
Yeah,
in your
absolutely.
business?
It's funny. My business partner and my husband actually have the same personality type, which is really unique to see how that plays out in business and at home. But
they're both working.
Yeah, it's both working. But it's been phenomenal for our business that we have different mindsets. Not only because we have different skill sets, and so we can offer both technology, ClickFunnels, website, tech support to people, plus strategy events like we're doing with Mill Blogging, and things like that. But when we look at a problem, we look at it from completely different lenses. So it helps us to be able to have a different, I think, a more holistic perspective in business, because we come from it from 2 completely different angles when we're thinking about problems and solutions.
So a difference in
really
opinion
beneficial.
isn't always just an argument, but it can actually work to your advantage.
No, I think it works incredible for us. I mean, we definitely do sometimes have those moments where it's like, no, I think we should do it this way. I think we should do it this way, and they're different. And I guess that can be seen. It's really frustrating, but for us, it's not, because we sit down at the table and have such a mutual respect for each other that we're able to say, hey, why is it that way for you, and why is it that way for me, and how can we marry these 2 ideas and make a really good decision for our business? Yeah. It's just the whole same thing, collaboration over competition.
Well, you both know the end goal that you're trying to get, so that
right.
allows
you have
you
to be
kinda,
on the same page, for sure.
And I mean, when you have that clarity, which you'd be blown away with some of the businesses I've worked with, even big ones you would recognize the name, where they don't have clarity on, like, I could ask 10 of their employees, what does your company do? And I get 10 different answers.
Right.
And, I mean, talking about blasting out like an ad and mass confusion in the marketplace. But
it's all about understanding your strategic anchors and your core values as an organization.
And it's also knowing where I'm strong and where I'm not, and knowing when I need to shut up and let this person do it.
Right.
Because I don't want someone like me. You don't want someone like me doing your taxes.
No, I don't.
Not because I'm dishonest.
I'm not doing taxes either.
I'm an honest person, but I'd go to jail because I would mess it up, because I'm not one of those numbers guys. And people say, oh yeah, I need a nerd, an IT guy, an accountant. Like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you do need the nerd. And boy, they can make you or break you. And so having that difference of perspective, just being open to having that is huge, because it's obviously the collaboration again. And realizing I don't know everything, that's a hard thing for some people.
Yeah, I think you have to know your limitations. Self-awareness is key, both in a business partnership and in a business in general, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and that's where we can come in as an outsourcing company to be able to help people who don't have those strategic people on their team without having to hire a full-time employee. But for us, it's just having that clarity. If you have clear vision on where you're going and what your values are, whether you have a difference in opinion or not, you're able to come back and say, what are our core values as an organization? What is our goal that we're going towards in the next 3 months? And how does this decision fit into that? And that really helps us stay anchored and really we have a lot of trust between each other, just that mutual respect and trust that we both have the same goal in mind.
Yeah.
We both have clarity about where the company's going, and that really helps us to come together, even in those moments where we're kind of like, what? Why do you want to do it that way, and I want to do it this way? We can come together and have those discussions, and it's so much better for our business. So I would encourage anyone. I know that partnerships are not talked about a lot, but if you're going into business, and you're really scared to do it on your own, I don't think I ever would have started Wise by myself, because Diana just has that business experience and that confidence in business that I didn't have. So look for those people.
And I don't know what I was reading. It might have been Start With Why by Simon Sinek, but
Great book.
excellent. I've listened to it 4 or 5 times. I think it was him. He gave the example. He said, I don't remember the guy's name, but Walt Disney was the creative type. If you read the book, you know. He said, but Walt had a brother who was a banker, and he was a business guy. Walt was the creative, and without his brother, you wouldn't know the Disney name, because there was this guy behind the scenes you never heard of, but the one that made it all possible. So if Walt had been just selfish and, no, I want it this way, and I'll do all that myself, like, you don't want the guy who's the artist doing the business.
You don't want us doing your taxes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I've learned, like, for me, I'm the talker, I'm the idea guy. Like, I'm a great CEO type because I'm visionary. I'm not a CEO type because all those details, I want to go out and shoot something. And so it's like I need someone with more of a level head than me who can see us. Like, they see, okay, here's your vision, Brian. Well, here's the system we need to plug into it to make this thing go where we want it to. And that is one of the huge benefits of going to conferences like the Mill Blogging one, because you're not just going to get speakers and their information, but like the greatest part about most conferences I go to, the speakers are usually good most of the time,
The network.
but the best people, sometimes it's the lady or the guy sitting right next to you. And believe it or not, it happens more often than not. It can be just the person you need to connect with in business.
Absolutely.
So don't go there and be shy. I mean, literally, like, walk up and just shake a hand.
Well, and bring a stack of business cards and get ready to hand them out, because the networking opportunities available. I mean, we're looking at bringing in, there'll be 250 people there, looking for those opportunities as well. You never know, like you're saying, who that person is sitting next to you and how you could help each other grow their businesses.
Well, number one, you don't know who they are. And even if they're not the person, you don't know who they know.
Right.
And I don't know how true this is, but I had someone tell me one time, they said, you're only 3 people away from finding the person you need to be connected with. And the world is that small.
Especially the military world.
Especially, in the veteran community.
Yeah, the veteran community, oh my goodness. It's I never believed that either. And then I, started on this journey with my husband, and it's amazing who knows who. And you're so right. You never know, who they know, and just by telling them your story and a little bit about what you're doing.
And then you're really glad you treated this one person good 10 years ago, because you're like, oh boy, I really wanted to tell them something, and I'm glad I didn't, because I've had stories like that where you can't make this stuff up, and you're like, I am so glad I bit my tongue when I did.
Yeah, you really don't know who knows who.
No, and word gets around fast, just like any community. And the veteran community is operates with a higher level of vengeance, I'd say, on certain things that are unethical or wrong. And with the internet nowadays, people know immediately if you did something, and or if you're not being honest. And that's one of the great parts about the internet or having events like this. But tell me this: what do you think, in your opinion, is maybe one of the big, like, I don't say the number one, but one of the biggest challenges veterans are facing as they're getting out of the military and trying to start a business? We may have touched on it, but...
Yeah, I think it's twofold. One, it's the transition, because your whole life is transitioning at once. Not just your location and your job, but the lifestyle you're used to living. And I would say, I think that's one of the biggest things that it affects veterans in that transition, is they're so used to being in this specific job where they know exactly what they're supposed to do, and you're kind of told what you're supposed to do. You know your role. It's written for you. There's a lot of structure. And then you want to move into this entrepreneurial world where there's not a whole lot of structure, and there's not someone telling you what direction you should go, and there's a lot of decisions that you have to face and make. And I think just having that confidence to move forward is so huge. In the middle of this entire life flip where your whole life is transitioning and changing, and your kids are finding new schools if they're still at home, and
your
you're
life
doing a new
savings
house,
could be on
and
the
you're
line.
doing all this, and your money's on the line, and you need a job. There's just...
You don't usually get out of the military with a lot of money.
No, it's true.
So like,
Yeah.
and honestly, like with
It's
what you're
true.
saying, I think
Yeah.
one of the best things is get as connected as
Yeah,
possible while
absolutely.
you're in,
Mhm.
and start setting that up. 9 to 18 months out.
Yeah.
Start
Don't
little by
wait.
little by little.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the big thing overnight. I mean, it's like a road march.
Mm-hmm.
25 miles to go, and at mile 18 or 20, and you're carrying that heavy pack, you're literally looking at your feet, going 1, 2,
Right.
what? Like it's 1 foot in front of it. It's one step at a time, and
Well, and you can start that business plan while you're still in. A lot of people are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, I have to wait till I'm out to really launch a business. Well, that might be true for you in your situation, but you can at least start the business plan and have everything lined up so when you are making that transition, you already have a plan. You know where you're
Yeah.
going, you have a goal, you have a mission in mind for your business. And like you're saying, get connected. This veteran community is so open to connecting with you.
Yeah, and one of the things that's interesting in
Right.
it, that getting out of the military, the one thing you're always taught not to do is to be alone. You
Yeah.
always have your battle buddy.
Right.
You don't. I mean, if he goes and takes a leak, you go with him. It's like you're literally battle buddy. Hey, you go
Yeah.
nowhere alone. You're part of this unit you live with, the people you work with. You see them every day. Like, so we know this, but by default, when everyone gets out at a different time and goes their own way, so
Yeah.
when you get out, you immediately become that soldier in a war zone who's alone, and that's dangerous. And so that's why, again, this is so important to plug in, because it's not even anyone's fault. It just happens.
Yeah.
And that's why you see so many men and women go off the deep end on things, even to the extent of suicide.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, so many veterans have their identity wrapped up in what they do in the military. Well, now you're not that anymore.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
what am I? And that's why it's so important. Don't have your identity wrapped up in the military or in your business. It's what you do. It's not who you
Right.
are. But when you have other people who have similar experiences and can help you along the way, it can not only be like a difference between divorce or staying married, or financially good or financially broke, or even, like I said, on the extreme, people commit suicide for financial reasons. They think my family will be better off, and they're so wrong on that. But that's where they're thinking, because they're inside a box that we all have blind spots, and when we don't have someone else looking in at us from a different angle, like the A-10 pilot,
Right, yeah.
like when I was infantry in Afghanistan, the A-10 pilots and the helicopters, the Apaches, when they were providing close air support, they had a very different angle of my battlefield, and it helped us, and it kept us alive and helped us accomplish the mission. It's the exact same thing when you're trying to start a business, getting out of the military.
Yeah. Community's powerful.
Yeah, it's
People-
everything.
They just really, I mean... the
You're not going to do it alone. A
Yeah,
lone ranger's a dead
yeah,
ranger.
you realize in the military, I think they tell you how important support and community is, but it's just, like you're saying, it's just as important while you're transitioning and once you get out, to really find your tribe.
Don't go anywhere
find those
alone.
people. Yeah, don't go alone. Well,
Ever.
it's so important to have a mentor in your business and have someone who you can bounce ideas off of and to really help you through the process. And mill blogging is a great opportunity for people to connect with those people, but then there's also a lot of other veteran entrepreneurs and resources out there for people to connect with, whether it's your organization or other Facebook groups.
And
do a search.
And here's a tip too that a lot of people don't think of. If somebody helps you out, reciprocate it.
Yeah.
If somebody gives you a shout out, or they give you a piece of advice or whatever, I mean, like I was in here yesterday with the other guy, and we did like a selfie with one, or not a selfie, but we had a picture taken with his wallets. We're putting that out on social media. It's promoting me, it's promoting him. I'm tagging his website or how to get a hold of him, things like that. Don't ever have someone do something nice for you and be that guy or that lady who doesn't ever send a thank you note, or put him on social media going, he didn't have to do this, or look what he did anyway. I mean, that kind of stuff means so much, and you're not going to learn that usually at a business conference, or you're not thinking it.
No.
But little things are everything. And so with that, as we close, what would you say is, you think, maybe the best piece of advice for a veteran who's just gotten out, or someone getting out of the military who wants to be in business for themselves?
I would say research. Look into organizations and people that you admire. Look at businesses and find a veteran owner and contact them and start kind of talking to them about what you're interested in doing, and really plug yourself into the community, whether it's going to a conference like Mill Blogging or it's connecting with a veteran group on social media. Plug yourself in and start researching and gathering information and find those people to do that journey with you.
Yeah.
It's so important to just get familiar first with what's happening.
Well,
before
the
you
business
jump
you
in.
think you're in is not the business you're
it's
in.
not, yeah.
Because you might, like for me, I go out and I speak. I write books, I sell books, I speak, I get paid to go speak. But the business of it is having someone, always finding someone to make the calls, contact the meeting planner, coordinating with the book printers, and getting the books to the event. And I mean, there's this whole operation behind the scenes. Yeah, exactly. Behind everything.
Right, yeah.
Behind every business, it's what you do is not what you do if you're the owner.
No, it's so true. The owner is is not the one doing things. I mean, that's why we have a company of outsourcing for other people, because you can't do it on your own. You can't do it on your own in the development phase, but you also can't do it on your own in your business. You need to find either a team of people or find a company to outsource to, like Wise, to find that team of people to support you.
Well, and you're not that good at everything anyway.
No.
Like, you're just not. Nobody's
no one's great at everything.
Yeah, and you can't do it. There's not enough minutes in a day, and you're going to hate life, and you're going to have no family life.
Yeah.
There's just too much to do.
Yeah.
And so I think the big lesson there is, as you scale and you get busier, you go, I can't do this. Well, you need to start looking at what the budget you have or who's willing to help you, and just, bootstrap literally. Who do I know? And start with just the people you know. And again, like we said, you're only 3 people away from the person you need to meet, and
it's true.
It's more and more true as I grow older and more in business. It tends to be the case.
Yeah, get plugged into the community, because you never know who's going to be there who can help you along the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here today. And can you tell us again where we can find you as well as the conference online? So with your business, your website is
wiseadviseteam.com.
wiseadviseteam.com. That's for outsourcing needs and events. And if you need something done, she'll probably hook you up.
Get you done.
And if you don't know where to look, she can probably direct you to the right people. Yeah. And then the Mill Blogging event taking place October
23rd and 24th here in Dallas, Texas.
At the Sheraton.
So you can purchase tickets at millblogging.com. Find out more information there as well. Bring a friend. Come on out. We'd love to have you. It's going to be, like I said, a fantastic event. Lots of great speakers.
That's a really good tip, too. The website is really easy to remember.
Yep.
Millblogging.com. Like, that's why when I started speaking, I had blownupguy.com. Because it was easy to remember. Veteran BS for Veteran Business Success. Regardless of the name of your company or your business, make it easy for people to remember you. They got to find you, have a pathway to return, but make it easy to remember. And if you can tie it to humor or something, like you don't know now, but it'll make a world of difference in the long run of your business. So again, this is Veteran Business Success. If you or someone you know is trying to get into business who's a veteran, or maybe a spouse of a veteran like Laura, go to veteranbs.com. It's a full resource of information. It doesn't cost you a thing. You can click follow on there, and you'll get updates when we add new content. We have several moderators on there who add content almost daily. Look, don't do this thing alone. And if it's 2 in the morning and you're like me and you're trying to figure something out because your brain is wired awake because you're just so excited about business, look, go to veteranbs.com. Tons of great resources. And anything we can do for you, our mission is to help you and your family win the war at home, because there's no reason going over there and fighting a war and then coming back and losing the one that matters most, and that's our families. So glad you're here today. And again, Laura, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.